Probably more of a cop philosophy. They entered an office suite. In the outer office, there were two separate desk arrangements, one occupied by a man in his 20s wearing a suit, and the other empty, and he assumed belonging to Gloria. They walked between the desks to a door, and Gloria opened it and then stepped to the side. "Go on in," she said. "Can I bring you a bottle of water?" "No thanks," Bosch said. "I'm fine." Bosch entered an even larger room, with a desk area to the left and an informal seating area to the right, where a couple of couches faced each other across a glass-topped coffee table. Creighton was sitting behind his desk, indicating Bosch's appointment was going to be formal. It had been more than a decade since Bosch had seen Creighton in person. He could not remember the occasion, but assumed it was a squad meeting, where Creighton had come in and made an announcement concerning the overtime budget or the department's travel protocols. Back then, Creighton was the head bean counter, in charge of budgeting for the department among his other management duties. He was known for instituting strict policies on overtime that required detailed explanations to be written on green slips that were subject to supervisor approval. Since that approval or disapproval usually came after the extra hours were already worked, the new system was viewed as an effort to dissuade cops from working overtime, or worse yet, get them to work overtime and then deny authorization or replace it with comp time. It was during this posting that Creighton became universally known as Cretin by the rank and file. Though Creighton left the department for the private sector not long after that, the greenies were still in use. The mark he left on the department had not been a daring rescue or a gun battle or the takedown of an apex predator. It had been the green overtime slip. "Harry, come in," Creighton said. "Sit down." Bosch moved to the desk. Creighton was a few years older than Harry, but in good shape. He stood behind the desk with his hand held forward. He wore a gray suit that was tailor-cut to his taut frame. He looked like money. Bosch shook his hand and then sat down in front of the desk. He hadn't gotten dressed up for the appointment. He was in blue jeans, a blue denim shirt, and a charcoal corduroy jacket he had had for at least 12 years. These days, Bosch's work suits from his days with the department were wrapped in plastic. He didn't want to pull one of them out just for a meeting with Creighton. "Chief, how are you?" he said. "It's not Chief anymore," Creighton said with a laugh. "Those days are long ago. Call me John." "John, then." "Sorry to keep you waiting out there. I had a client on the phone, and, well, the client always comes first. Am I right?" "Sure, no problem. I enjoyed the view." The view through the window behind Creighton was in the opposite direction, stretching northeasterly across the Civic Center and to the snow-capped mountains in San Bernardino. But Bosch guessed that the mountains weren't the reason Creighton picked this office. It was the Civic Center. From his desk, Creighton looked down on the spire of City Hall, the Police Administration Building, and the Los Angeles Times Building. Creighton was above them all. "It is truly spectacular seeing the world from this angle," Creighton said. Bosch nodded and got down to business. "So," he said, "what can I do for you, John?" "Well, first of all, I appreciate you coming in without really knowing why I wished to see you. Gloria told me she had a difficult time persuading you to come." "Yeah, well, I'm sorry about that, but like I told her, if this is about a job, I'm not interested. I've got a job." "I heard San Fernando, but that's got to be part-time, right?" He said it with a slightly mocking tone, and Bosch remembered a line from a movie he once saw. "If you're not a cop, you're little people." It also held that if you worked for a little department, you were still little people. "Keeps me as busy as I want to be," he said. "I also have a private ticket. I pick up stuff from time to time on that." "All referrals, correct?" Creighton said. Bosch looked at him a moment. "Am I supposed to be impressed that you checked me out?" he finally said. "I'm not interested in working here. I don't care what the pay is. I don't care what the cases are." "Well, let me just ask you something, Harry," Creighton said. "Do you know what we do here?" Bosch looked over Creighton's shoulder and out at the mountains before answering. "I know you are high-level security for those who can afford it," he said. "Exactly," Creighton said. He held up 3 fingers on his right.